Nationwide, our country has nearly $1.75 trillion worth
spread
of
across
student debt.
43 million borrowers.
This is a problem that has gotten bigger, bigger.
He has almost $28,000 left on his student loan.
$32,000 in debt.
$8,137.48.
From the moment they enter kindergarten to the moment they graduate high school, students in America are constantly bombarded with one question: how will you attend college? It's not a matter of if, not a matter of when, but how. How will you make the most of your college degree? It's not entirely unreasonable for families to want their children to attend college when there are so many benefits that come with it. It's the place where you can meet new people, experience new things, learn to become more independent, and best of all, earn a degree that could secure a long-term spot within the workplace. Yet, it's becoming increasingly difficult for students to access the benefits of attending college and obtaining a degree. With rising costs for tuition, books, supplies, transportation, food, dorms, and overall cost of living, families are realizing today that college is becoming too expensive. And the insurmountable student loan debt you'll have after graduation doesn't help either. In total, the student loan debt in America sums up to $1.7 trillion, owed by over 45 million Americans. That's 1 out of every 7 people in America. To put that into perspective, $1.7 trillion could pay for over 14 million people's tuition at a private university that costs $30,000 per year. Here's another example. Given that the federal minimum wage is $7.25 per hour, $1.7 trillion could fund 235 million hours of labor. That is enough to pay the salaries of 8.4 million people, roughly the size of New York City, for 14 years. $1.7 trillion is also how much American billionaires profited during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Forbes, the average American owes $29,000 in student loans. However, when the total debt is broken down based on race, statistics show that people of color, and especially Black graduates, suffer more from the impact of student loans. On average, more Black students and students of color take out student loans than their white counterparts. Additionally, Black graduates owe a range from $7,400 to $53,000 more dollars in student debt than white graduates. This divide shows the impacts of the racial wealth gap, which is defined as the disparity in median household wealth among races. This means that due to systemic racism and oppression since this country's founding, Black families and families of color are on average poorer than white families. However, many people today are unaware that U.S. universities had a systemic role in widening this racial wealth gap, starting all the way in the 1600s. In this 2-part series that will be released in August, we'll be exploring the history of American universities and analyzing their impact on communities of color. In the first part, we'll be looking at how universities first broke ground in the US, how they were built with the exploited labor of enslaved Black Americans on land stolen from the native indigenous population. We'll look at how the Jim Crow laws segregated access to higher education following the Civil War through policies like the GI Bill. We'll detail universities' policies following the ruling of Brown versus Board of Education, and how movements led by student activists paved the way for more inclusive policies such as affirmative action. In the second part, we'll take a look at how all of these historical events contribute to the systemic racism that still exists on today's campuses. Despite recent trends of universities acknowledging and reconciling with their racist past, students of color are still largely excluded from higher education and oppressed within these institutions in the modern world. We'll look at how academia's prejudice history is unsurprisingly a part of a larger pattern of systematic oppression to maintain white supremacy, and it still manifests today in the student loan debt crisis, admissions requirements, and incomplete curricula, just to name a few. This is academia's Tainted Past. If you're watching this video, you are most likely in the realm of social justice, activism, and using social media to amplify messages. If you have an interest in art and design, Diversify Our Narrative would like for you to become involved. Combine your creativity with social justice through the new Dawn Toolkit called Art and Design for Social Justice. This toolkit includes 2 fun art projects and a chance to be featured on the Dawn National social media pages through the Dawn Art for Social Justice hashtag. Find this toolkit at this link, which will also be included in the description. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for this 2-part series in August.